Hello, everybody. This is Gary. Today is Friday. I'm sorry, not Friday. It's Wednesday, December 18th, 2019. It's 2:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States in Rochester, New York. And this is my coping with schizophrenia vlog entry for today. The reason I'm dressed like this is because it's cold outside and my apartment is not as warm as it should be. And I'm not in the mood to get into an argument with my fucking landlord about the heat. The heat is on, but he keeps it at a bare minimum. But anyways, I wanted to talk today about my paranoia, which seems to be pretty active. I was out earlier, and it was, of course, cold out. It snowed yesterday. I mean, not a lot of snow. There's like maybe 2 inches out there, but it's cold and it's windy. Um, and when I was out there on the street, I thought somebody was following me and talking about me on his cell phone. Um, I felt extremely paranoid. Um, and that's the thing. My paranoia tends to be more of a feeling than a thought. It feels like somebody's following me. It feels like somebody's spying on me. It feels like somebody's talking about me. But intellectually, I know that I don't have any evidence at all that anybody would follow me or that I'm important enough to follow. So it's like a gut reaction sometimes that I think I see patterns where there are no patterns. I think I see the same person when I haven't seen them before. And I attribute people, random people, as being somehow plotting against me, trying to harm me, even though that's never actually happened. Um, I guess the point of this video is just to get it out of my system. I'm in control of my behavior and my thoughts and actions. I'm not suicidal. I'm not violent. Um, I just felt the need to say that. There's a lot of crazy people on the internet that make videos before they go off and do stupid, violent shit. That's not me. That's not the way I do things. Um, if I'm angry about something, then I try to deal with it in a logical, systematic way. But anyways, my paranoia is pretty bad today, and I'm just trying to stick to my schedule. Sometimes that's all I have. Um, and I've said this 1,000 times before. Keeping a schedule if you're mentally ill is extremely important. You can't just be sitting around watching TV, or in my case, YouTube. You have to do something to be involved with life. And that's hard for some people with schizophrenia because they have what's called negative symptoms, where they appear totally unmotivated, don't enjoy anything, feel depressed, no energy, no interest in doing everyday things they might have enjoyed before they got sick, whether that's friends, family, work, school, going out to a movie. Negative symptoms means there's no motivation, no emotion to getting things done and being involved with things. And but I still say that even if you have negative symptoms, keeping a schedule is important. What do I do? I do my Spanish lessons on YouTube. I've been taking Spanish on and off since I was like seventh grade, and I'm 54 now. It is true I'm not fluent in Spanish, and I don't think I ever will be, but it gives my mind something to concentrate on, something to think about. Um, Spanish is actually one of the easier languages to learn. I never would have taken French or Japanese or German when I was given the choice between French and Spanish in seventh grade. I took Spanish because I had heard that the pronunciation rules in Spanish are easier to remember and learn than French. Certainly more simple than Japanese or Chinese or even German. Um, so I do Spanish lessons. I write poetry for allpoetry.com. I also have my own poetry website that I write poetry for. I do work part time by filling out consumer surveys online. They do pay me for that. It's not a lot, but it gives me something extra to spend money on. It's not anything that's high enough in income that would be taxable. I've checked with the IRS and Social Security, and I'm not making enough money doing surveys to affect my benefits or a need to pay taxes on the income. So I do Spanish lessons. If it's not snowing out and it's not getting into the middle of winter like it is now, I'll ride my bike for exercise. I also lift weights. I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I do like to keep physically busy. I think that's important. And exercise is important, even if it's just going for a walk, riding my bike, lifting weights, whatever it might be. So I try to keep a daily schedule. It's important. Also, my paranoia is something that I will be talking to my doctor about tomorrow because I have an appointment with him at the clinic that I go to at 1:30 appointment. It's actually kind of far out of my way to get out there. I take the bus, and it takes like 2.5 hours worth of travel time each way just to keep an appointment with my psychiatrist. But it's important that I keep this appointment, especially because I'm feeling paranoid today. This is something that the psychiatrist, needs to know about. But he also has access to these videos. Anybody does who knows my name can find these videos on YouTube. And I'm sure he's looked at some of them before. But so my paranoia is pretty strong, and it's also uncomfortable. It's almost physically uncomfortable to try to distract myself from my paranoia by doing my daily schedule. It's like I'm carrying a weight on my back, and I'm just trying to ignore the shit that's going on in my head that I know isn't logical. Because again, what is a delusion? A delusion is you believe something without evidence, and if somebody presents you with evidence to the contrary, you continue to believe in the delusion. So that's hard to throw off. And to some extent, I think it's always with me. But I think I've learned to live with it and ignore it most of the time. That's not to say I've never been attacked. I remember I was walking behind a McDonald's here in Rochester, New York, and it was kind of a deserted street that I was walking on, and I got mugged. 4 people came up and attacked me and took my boombox, my big radio that I had that I was blaring music out of. I was being followed, and at first I didn't pick up that the 4 people I saw were following me, but then they surrounded me, and I got into a fight with them. I didn't know that their main goal was simply to get the radio. They actually didn't want to fight. Once they got the radio, they disappeared. Once they got my boombox, they were gone. So, crime happens, shit happens. I've been a victim of crime several times. I've been assaulted. But that doesn't necessarily mean that my paranoia is correct. I thought some black guy was following me today, and I have no evidence of that. I don't know if race in my mind plays a part in my paranoia. If it is, it's not something that I'm proud of. But the paranoia is what it is, and I try to ignore it. Well, not ignore it, that's not exactly the right word, but distract myself from it from time to time. One of the things I'm going to be talking to my psychiatrist about is I stopped taking Haldol against his instructions, and I'm still on my other 6 or 7 medications. So I'm going to suggest to my doctor tomorrow that we try Depakote. I've been on Depakote before. It would probably be more effective than the Haldol I stopped taking. The Haldol physically agitated me. It's something called akathisia, and I've already defined what akathisia is. I'm not going to do it again here. But just to say that being on Haldol is extremely uncomfortable, and it's time we try something else. If at all. He may not do the Depakote. It's just a suggestion on my part. But I guess it's all for now. If anybody has any ideas for a video they want me to do on a topic, leave it in the comment section. And like, subscribe, share, and comment.